So guys, in last lecture we have seen server based architecture. Okay, so in last lecture we have seen server based architecture. So in that server based architecture we have seen two types of server, that is a transaction server and the data server, right? Yes guys, in last lecture we have seen what? Transaction server and data server. So in today's lecture we will see that parallel system and distributed system. I think you all are familiar with that, but before starting the modern database system, every student should know the basic of database management system, right? So hello everyone, welcome to the today's session. Today we will see the parallel and distributed database system. So in this session, how exactly the parallel system and distributed database system working, and what are the difference and similarity between parallel system and the distributed system, we will see in this session. Okay, so at the end of this session, student will be able to know differentiate between parallel and distributed database system. Also compare the two database based on the various factors. Okay, at the end of this session, means after learning that parallel database system and distributed database system, student will be able to know difference between parallel and distributed database. Also compare the two database based on the various factors. Okay, so first of all we will see the parallel system. First of all we will see parallel system. Okay, so in this parallel processing, many operations are performed simultaneously as opposed to the serial processing. Okay, so many operations are performed simultaneously. Parallel, why that parallel systems has to be introduced? Because you have to perform the different operations simultaneously. Main thing of introducing that parallel system is what? Because of prices of the microprocessor, memory and disk are dropped, and the recent your desktop and computer having the features of the multiple processor, and means processing time when you are performing that transaction, the processing times can be minimized. So due to that reason, the parallel system database concept is introduced. Okay, so why this concept is introduced? Because of we having the higher throughput, we need a higher throughput. Okay, so the database can be measured in terms of two ways. See at here guys, so database performance can be measured. See at here at the last of this slide, the database can be measured in terms of the two types of performance measure, that is throughput. First is the throughput and the second is response time. So what is meant by throughput? So throughput means the number of tasks that can be completed in the given time interval. Okay, so if you have to give us some time interval, and within that time interval, how many tasks? So the task might be a transaction. Okay, so task might be a what? Task might be a your QE. Okay, so within the given time interval, how many tasks are completed? How many tasks will be completed? So by using that, we are going to measure the performance of that database. Okay. So the second is response time. So the amount of time is taken to complete the single task from the time is submitted. Okay, means what? if you have to performing a single task, so this task might be a your query, or your task might be a your transaction. So how much time can be required for performing that single task? So that is nothing but the response time. And the throughput means what? Number of tasks. Okay, if you have to given some time interval, and within that time interval how many number of tasks are executed, so that is nothing but the throughput. So why this parallel database concept is introduced? For increasing the throughput, means within the time you have to execute the multiple tasks. So that's why this parallel system database concept is introduced. So in the parallel processing, many operations are performed. It means this type of database, many operations are performed simultaneously as opposed to the serial processing. So we can improve the processing and input output speed by us multiple processor and disk in parallel. Okay, so main motto of this parallel system database is what? So you can improve the processing. Okay, means you can improve the throughput of your database, or you can improve the response time. Okay, with that single task can be executed in the given time period, or throughput means what? The number of tasks can be completed in the given time interval. So why this parallel system database concept is introduced? For increasing the throughput and response time for executing a task. So this task might be a transaction, or this task might be a your query. Okay, so why, due to that, this parallel system database system is concept is introduced. So the coarse grain, already in the last lecture we have seen that coarse grain and fine grain. So coarse word means what? Large. Okay, it consists of small number of powerful process. Means coarse mean it consists of small number of powerful processes in that database system. And the fine grain, it name suggests that is it consists of thousands of smaller processors. So when you designing that parallel system database concept, so if you have to design as a coarse grain, so in that having limited number of powerful processes. And if you have to design that parallel system in the fine grain, so in that the thousands of smaller processors are there. So means you can design that parallel database system by using two way, coarse grain and fine grain. So if you have to design a coarse grain, so it consists of minimum number, means suppose consider the example at here. So in the parallel database systems, the machines are connected physically close to each other. You can say that it's same in same server room. For example, consider the example of your laboratory. In the lab, having suppose 20 computers are there, and all these 20 computers are connected to the server. Okay, and in that server having the your disk and the memory, and all the processors are connected at there. Means machines are physically close to each other, means within a single we can say that in the single room. Okay, same server room, you can say that. And all these processors are connected via LAN. All these processors are connected via LAN. So means intercommunication can be done by using LAN, and these are means all the machines are physically close to each other, means within one room, within one building, and all these processors are connected via intercommunication. Okay, so but when you design that parallel database system, so you can design that parallel system by using two ways, that is coarse grain. Coarse grain consists of small number. For example, in out of that laboratory lab, only 10 processors are connected to that parallel database system. Okay, means small number of. And fine grain means suppose 2 or 3 labs, means the near about 60 to 100 processors are connected to that parallel system. So that is nothing but the fine grain. So all of you are getting this? Yes, put it into the comment box. Otherwise, I will proceed to the next point. Okay, please give me a reply. So are you getting that why this parallel database system is concept is introduced? because massively decreasing the price of microprocessor, disk, and memory, and you have to executing that task for achieving the throughput and response. So due to that reason, parallel database system concept is introduced. Okay, so that the speed can be increased, means execution time can be you can increase by using this parallel database system. So you can design that parallel database system by using two ways: coarse grain and fine grain. Coarse grain म्हणजे it consists of small number of powerful processes are connected to the shared memory and the disk via intercommunication channel. And fine grain means what? It is it consists of thousands of smaller processor. Okay, means it consists of large number of processor in the fine grain type of architecture, and in the coarse grain type of the parallel system architecture consists of small number of powerful processor. Okay, and how you can measure the performance of your database? By using two factors. The first factor is throughput. Okay, so what is meant by throughput? So throughput means the number of tasks can be completed in the given time interval. Okay, so whatever the time interval you have to given, when within that time interval, how many number of tasks are executed. This task might be your transaction, and this task might be your query. Okay, so this is the first measure, that is throughput, and the second measure is response time. Okay, so how we can calculate the response time? The amount of time takes to complete the single task, not the multiple tasks. How much time can be required to complete the single task from the time it is submitted? So that is nothing but the response time. So you have to increase the throughput and you have to increase the response time. So you have to design that database system in the parallel. Okay, the main motto is what? Increase the speed of execution. Transaction execution speed is increased by using this. So this is a motto of that introducing the new type of the architecture, that is parallel system architecture. So all of you have to getting this, please put it into the comment box. Clear? Yes, Pranali Khoth. Pranali? Yeah. So are you there? You have to understood that why this parallel system architecture is introduced. What is the main motto of that? Are you here, me? Yes, Kajal. Kajal. And no, guys, you can put it into the comment box. So whatever I am saying, that you have to clear. Otherwise, how I can proceed for the next thing? Please put it into the comment box. Are you getting this? Why this parallel system architecture is introduced? Yes, guys. Yes, Vaishnavi, Gauri, Dipti. Okay, fine. It's okay. I think you all are not interested to learn that how that I don't know. Okay, fine. Okay, Dipti. I am getting the response from Dipti and Gauri. Okay, fine. Then the next point is that measuring the performance in parallel processing system. already we have seen that how in the normal database system, how we can measure the performance. So these are the two basic factors where the performance is measured, that is throughput and response time. Okay, but in case of parallel processing system, the measuring the performance by using two way, that is speed up and the scale up. Okay, in case of parallel processing system, how we can measure the performance in normal database system, by using throughput and response time we can measure the performance. Okay, but in case of parallel system architecture, how we can measure the performance? So by using two ways, that is speed up and the scale up. So what is meant by speed up? Running a given task in less time by increasing the degree of parallelism. Okay, so when you increasing the degree of parallelism, means most of the processors are put into that parallel system database, and you have to running the given task in a less time. So that is nothing but the increase the speed of execution, that is speed up. And the scale up means what? Handling the larger task by increasing the degree of parallelism. If the task is large, okay, so task is complicated, so handling the large task by increasing degree of parallel, scale up. Okay, and that is ability to process the larger task in the same amount of time by providing the more resources. You can provide more resources, but you have to given some time, and within that time you have to execute the larger task by using scale up. Okay, so in case of parallel system, parallel processing system, the performance is measured by the two terms, that is speed up and scale up. See guys, all of you have to please remember it. In the parallel processing system, the database performance can be measured in terms of speed up and scale up. Okay, you can see one by one what is meant by speed up and what is meant by scale up. Okay, so see it here guys. See, here I am given one example is there. Suppose this is a single task. Okay, and they're having a single processor is there. So this task can be executed. They're having a single processor is there, and they're having a database is there. So this task is executed by the processor and this database, and the time taken by the TS. Okay, how much time taken by that for executing that single task. Okay, but same task is given by the multiple processors. See in the second diagram, in that they are having three processors are there. Okay, and same task can be executed by these three processor. So how much time can be taken by these three processor for executing that task? So see at here example of speed up. If the original system takes 60 seconds, means this original system, they are having a single processor, and this single processor can be taking the 60 seconds to perform the task. And this same task can be executed in the parallel. See at here, this same task can be executed in the parallel. So these three processor took 20 seconds to complete the task. So are you getting? If you have to be using a single processor, so that time this task is the 60 seconds is required for executing this task. Okay, sorry. See it here guys. Here I am going to give a speed up for clearing the concept of speed up. Here I am given one example. So this suppose this task is executed by the single processor, so that time it takes 60 seconds. Okay, but similar task you have to execute it in the parallel system. So see at here, they are having the three processors are connected in the parallel system. So that time this task is executed within a 20 seconds. Okay, so obviously your time is reduced. Okay, so speed up means your execution time is speed up. So how you can calculate that speed up? So amount of time taken by the single processor, that is 60 seconds. And after same task, when you same task can be executed in the parallel system, so how much time can be taken? So see at here, time taken for the single processor and the time taken for the larger processor, means if you are in a parallel system. So how we can calculate the speed up? 60 divided by 20, that is 3, means speed up increase with the number of parallel processor. Means your execution time is increased, means within minimum time you have to execute the task by using parallel processor. That is speed up. All of you are getting this? Yes, guys. So what is meant by speed up? See at here, same single task can be executed by the single processor. So the single processor execute that task, for executing that task requires 60 seconds. But similarly, same these tasks can be given by the multiple processor in the parallel system. So that time it can require 20 seconds. Okay, so how we are going to calculate the speed up? Time taken for the single processor, that is 60 seconds, and the time taken for the multiple processor, that is 20. 60 divided by 20, that is nothing but 3, means your speed up is increased with the number of parallel processor. So that is nothing but the speed up. So all of you are getting this? Yes, guys. Please put it into the comment box. Are you getting that speed up concept? Suppose we increase the size of the system by increasing the number of processors and the disk. Okay, so TS means time taken, task running in the parallel system, and C, this is a TS, means single system can execute that task. So that single processor required 60 seconds. And if you have to executing same task in the parallel system, so at that time this work has to be distributed and this task is completed within 20 seconds. Okay, so obviously your speed has to be increased. So that is nothing but the speed up. Okay, so I think Prajakta also has to be given the response. So you have to getting that concept of speed up. Okay, I need the response from everyone. If you are not understood, please feel free and ask me. So I am again repeat that concept. Okay, anyone? Yes, guys. Yes, anyone? Yes, Pranesh, Sutar, are you there? Roll number 67. Are you getting the concept of speed up? Yes, Pranesh. Please put it into the comment box. Yes or no. Yes, Pranesh. Are you there? Yes, see guys, I need a response from your side. Yeah, yes, Pranesh. Okay, fine. So shall I proceed for the next thing? That is a speed up. Okay. Then next concept is that is scale up. Okay. So guys, so this scale up concept I am going to explain by using this example. See guys here, if they're having the number of tasks, okay, task 1, task 2, and they're having the task 100. Okay, so means the volume of the task are 100, and these volume of tasks can be executed by the single processor. So they're having, you can given the constant time, that is 30 seconds. Okay, you have to given a time, and within that given time you have to execute the 100 tasks. Okay, so same, if you increasing the processors, okay, if you have to increasing the processor, and again you have to given the constant time, that is 30 seconds. So that time these three processor can execute that 300 tasks within that 30 seconds. Are you getting or not? See, you have to given a 30-second time, okay, for executing the 100 tasks. So single processor can take 30 seconds for executing the 100 tasks. See, मी काय सांगते बघा की एक सिंगल प्रोसेसर आहे, त्या सिंगल प्रोसेसरला तुम्ही टाइम स्लॉट अलोकेट एक कॉन्स्टंट टाइम दिलाय की 30 सेकंद. त्या 30 सेकंदामध्ये एक सिंगल प्रोसेसर 100 टास्क एक्झिक्यूट करतोय. ओके, पण हेच जर तुम्ही पॅरलल सिस्टीम मध्ये गेला तर सपोज इन दिस डायग्राम, so they are having the 3 processors. Okay, so the volume means this processor can execute 100 tasks. Again, they are having a constant time period is 30, but within that 30 seconds, by using parallel system architecture, you have to execute 300 tasks. Are you getting my point? So that is nothing but the scale up. That is nothing but the scale up. Okay, are you getting? So means within the constant time period, single processor execute the 100 tasks, but same if you have to go for the parallel database architecture, so within that constant time, large volume of tasks are executed. Yes, so that is nothing but the scale up. That is nothing but the scale up. Okay, so are you getting? Yes. Are you getting the concept of scale up? Yes, Ahilya, Chaitali, Prashant, Omkar, Pallavi, Aditya. Yeah. So are you getting that scale up? If you have to given a constant time, that is constant 30 seconds, okay, so single processor can execute only 100 tasks, okay, within that 30 seconds. Same constant 30-second time slot has to be given in the parallel database system. So that time large volume of means suppose 300 tasks are executed within that 30 seconds. So that is nothing but the scale up. Yes, getting? Yes. So that is nothing but the scale up. So these are the two factors, these are the two measures are used for measuring the performance in parallel processing system. That is speed up, and that is another thing is scale up. Okay. So see, again, I am going to repeat that. So all of you have to getting that example, then you have to clear the these two performance, measuring performance, that is speed up and scale up. Speed up means execution time less करायचा आपल्याला. So running the given task in less time. Running the given task in less time. So that is nothing the speed up. Okay. And scale up means what? Handling the large task. जसं की सिंगल प्रोसेसर मध्ये आपण बघितलं की विदिन गिवन टाइम स्लॉट फक्त काय होतं ते 100 टास्क एक्झिक्यूट होत होते. But if you have to increase the degree of parallelism, so that time large number of tasks are executed within same amount of time. Right? So that is the ability to process large tasks, means 300 tasks in the same amount of time. म्हणजे जसं की constant 30 सेकंद आपण एक टाइम दिला होता by providing the more resources to that parallelism. So that is nothing but the scale up. Are you getting? I think now it is clear to everyone. That is speed up and scale up. Yes? Yes or no? Yes, Shivani? Now it is clear? In parallel database system, how we can measure the performance by using speed up and scale up. Okay, so now I am going to proceed to the next point, that is factors that affect the speed up and scale up. So which are the different factors that are affect the speed up and scale up performance measure in the parallel system architecture? That is, first is the startup cost. Okay, so when you design that parallel database system, so you have to require some startup cost. So if you have to design by using two-way, we are going to design that, means they are having the different types, shared memory, shared disk, shared nothing, we will see in the afterward. But whatever the architecture you have to choose, so you have to require some startup cost. Okay, so there is a startup cost associated with initiating a single processor. In the parallel system, some process must be started at the thousands of processor, means suppose fine grain, if you have to design as a fine grain, so in that thousands of processors are connected in the parallel system. The startup time may overshadow the actual processing time and affecting the speed up adversely. Okay, so when you started that parallel system architecture, so once you have to get that idea how to execute the task in the parallel database system, so it can be overshadow the actual processing time and affecting the speed up adversely. But once you have to getting that how to execute the task in the parallel system, then it's okay. Then interference. Second factor is interference. So process executing in the parallel system access shared resources. Okay. So when you're executing a task in the parallel system architecture, so that time processor can access the resources, shared resources. Okay. So it might be a shared memory. It might be a shared disk. Okay. So processor compared to each other, commonly held resources such as system bus, shared disk, and even the logs. Okay, so see guys here. What happened? Suppose the architecture is shared memory. Okay, and one processor can share that memory, or at the time of executing that task, that processor can be put the lock on that particular transaction. So other processor are also wants the same transaction, same data. So that time the other processors are till wait until the first processor can release the lock on that particular transaction, a particular data, right? So after completion of that transaction, then that processor can be released that lock. So wise means when you share the something, okay, when you share the disk, when you share the memory, and you can communicate with the intercommunication channel, so that time one processor still wait after completion of the task of the processor first. So both the speed up and scale up are affected by this phenomena. Again, you have to say that by using parallel system, you have to speed up and scale up. But the same data can be required two or more processor. One processor can busy on that modifying that data, so that time that processor can be put the lock on that data. So that time other processor are till wait until that they can release their lock. Right. So means in that case, yes guys. So both the speed up and scale up are affected in this phenomena. Okay. Then skew. A single task is broken down into number of subtasks. The time to be slowest subtask will be determined the time for the text as a whole. So it is difficult to divide the task into exactly equal size of parts. Suppose single task आहे आणि तुम्ही तो partition केलाय, and these has to be given to some part has to be given to one processor, some part has to be given to other processor. So at that time it is difficult to determine how much time can be taken to that particular processor. So that skewed means it is difficult to divide the task into exactly equal size of part. Therefore distribution of skews is very difficult in case of parallel system. So this is a skew. here I am given one example at here. If a task of size is 100, okay, task की size किती आहे 100 आहे, and it is divided into the 10 parts. Okay, 100 task की size आहे 100, and this has to be divided into 10 parts, and the 10 division of the so you have to measuring that performance by using this cube. So there may be the some task size is less than 10 and some task is more than 10. If even one task happened to be the size 20, so speed up has to be obtained in the means. Suppose if some of the tasks can be required 1 second, but the other processor can take the 2 second, third processor can be taken 1 second again. So it is difficult to measure that single processor, I mean, how much time can be taken by that single processor for executing that task. So this is very difficult to distribution of skewed. So these are the factors are affect on the speed up and scale up in the parallel database system. Okay, now we are going to moving the most important part of this parallel system architecture, that is parallel database architecture. How we can design that parallel database system architecture by using 3 types. Okay, so in your examination asking the question regarding that, what are the different parallel system architecture, what is parallel system, and what are the different parallel system database architectures. Okay, so I am visible to everyone. I am visible to everyone. I am audible to everyone. Okay, fine. So now we are going to moving the one of the most important part of this point, that is parallel database architectures. Okay, so in the parallel database architecture having 3 types of architecture. First is a shared memory. First is a shared memory. So all the processor can share the common memory. This name talk about more, all that thing. Shared memory means whatever the processors in that parallel database system architecture, so all the processors are share common memory. Okay, so that is nothing but the shared memory. So second is a shared disk. So all the processors share a common set of disk. See, how many processors in your parallel database system architecture? So all the processors are share common disk. And the shared nothing means what? The processor share neither a common memory or nor a common disk. बघा, तिसरा टाइपचं जे आर्किटेक्चर आहे त्यामध्ये प्रोसेसर मेमरी पण शेअर करणार नाहीत आणि डिस्क पण शेअर करणार नाहीत. सो मीन्स every processor having its own memory and having its own disk. स्वतःचीच त्याच्याकडे काय असणार आहे, मेमरी पण असणार आहे आणि डिस्क असणार आहे. But in case of about 2, the first architecture is shared memory. So all the processors are in that parallel database system. So all the processors are share common memory. Okay, and how these can be shared? By using intercommunication channel. Okay, so already I am going to talk about that. So these are within a single room, server room. Okay, fine. Means suppose in the laboratory, lab 10 computers are connected to the parallel system architecture. So all these 10 processors are share common memory. So that is the first architecture, that is shared memory. Second architecture is a shared disk. All the processor can share common disk. Okay, and shared nothing. The processor are share neither neither a common memory or nor a common disk. Okay, so we are going to go for one by one. So you have to getting the idea about that. So first architecture, that is shared memory. Okay, the first architecture is shared memory. So see at here guys. So here we will see the different types of parallel database system architecture. So out of this, first type of architecture is shared memory. So it uses, see guys, it uses, you have to see that cursor. Okay. It uses multiple processors which is attached to, see, all these processor which is attached to global shared memory via intercommunication channel. So this middle vertical line, that is, you can say that this is a communication bus, or you can say that this is a communication channel. Okay, so see guys, in the first shared memory, it uses, it having the multiple processors. Okay, it having multiple processor. The processor and disk have to access common memory. Disk are also, this is a disk. Okay, this processor and disk shared common memory. Okay, via bus, this is a what, communication bus, or you can say that this is an intercommunication network. Okay, means all this architecture is connected through LAN, local area network. So see guys, in this type of architecture consists of the processors and disk, and processor and disk are shared a memory. आणि ती मेमरी कशी शेअर करतात, तर by using, how they are communicate with that memory, via communication bus or through intercommunication network. Intercommunication network means it is a LAN. So shared memory system says they have large amount of cache memory at each processor. So referencing of the shared memory is avoided. See guys, every processor having their own cache memory. Every processor having their own cache memory, and so each processor handling the large amount of cache memory that can keep the backup of database in their cache memory. Means without going to that memory, okay, for example, P1 has to be execute some task, and in their cache having data in their, whatever the data is required to that processor, that data has to be having in their cache memory. So without going to that shared memory, they can retrieve the data from their cache and they have to execute the transaction. See, so means each processor handling the large amount of cache memory, so that can keep backup of the database in their cache memory. Means without going to this shared memory, that processor have whatever the data is required to that processor, so that data is available in their cache. Okay, cache memory मध्ये आपण data, those data are frequently required, so processor can put that data into that cache. Okay, so if a processor perform the right operation, so see guys here, advantage, what are the advantages of when you design architecture as like a shared memory? The first advantage is efficient communication between processor. Means data can be easily accessible to any processor. One processor can send a message to other processor via intercommunication channel. Means they're having efficient communication between processors. So how they are communicate with each other? Via this common bus or intercommunication. Also the data is shared. Data is a shared memory, can be accessed by any processor. Any processor can access the data into that memory, right? So this is the advantages of that first type of architecture, that is shared memory. And a processor can send a message to other processor much faster by using memory writes, which takes less time than sending the message through communication line. Suppose one processor having some data. Okay, so memory writes, so I want that memory, so one processor can send the message to other processor. Okay, and then by sending a message through the communication network, and they can share the memory. So means it is more faster. A processor can send a message to other processor. कशासाठी मेसेज सेंड करणार की मला सध्या आता मेमरी शेअर करायची आहे, तर they can say to the other processor for the memory write, and which take less time by sending the message through communication. Directly they can send the message to the other processor. Okay, so these are the advantages of shared memory. But what are the disadvantages? So disadvantages are not scalable beyond 32 to 64 processor. Means they are having the limitation of scale up. म्हणजे यामध्ये ह्या टाइपच्या आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये तुम्ही 32 or 64 च्या वरती तुम्ही जास्त मशीन्स ऍड करू, प्रोसेसर ऍड करू शकत नाही, म्हणजे स्केल अप करू शकत नाही. So this is advantage because of problem of bandwidth. Okay, so if you have to increasing the more number of processor, so they are having a problem of bandwidth. So due to that reason it is not scalable. Scalable म्हणजे काय, त्याची साईज तुम्ही इन्क्रीज करू शकत नाही किंवा जास्तीत जास्त प्रोसेसर मीन्स बियॉन्ड 32 or 64 प्रोसेसरच्या वरती तुम्ही त्यामध्ये प्रोसेसर्स ऍड करू शकत नाही. Okay, so this is a disadvantage because the bus or interconnection network, see, this bus or interconnection network become bottleneck. Okay, by using that you have throughout all the communication can be done by using this intercommunication channel. So processor will spend most of their time waiting for the turn on the bus to access memory. Multiple processor can access share that memory. So one processor are means waiting time of the processor is increased due to made number of processor. If you have to increasing the number of processor, obviously waiting time of the processor is increased. So that's why in this type of architecture you are not going to scale up. Okay, means not scale up beyond the 32 or 64 processor, because so many processor interact with the shared memory via these common bus or intercommunication channel. So when you are executing the task, waiting time of the processor is increased due to if you have to adding the number of processor, and that will be affected on your bandwidth problem. Okay. So because of bus and intercommunication network become a bottleneck, means by through this all this processing can be done by using this intercommunication channel. But when you increasing the processor in that, so obviously bandwidth problem is arise, and the one process waiting time of the processor is increased. So that's why they're having the limitation of scale up. So are you all of you are getting this? I need a response from your side, guys. Otherwise, I am not proceed on the next point. So all of you are getting this? Yes, Bhaskar. Bhaskar, are you there? Yes, Bhaskar, are you there? I am asking to you. Bhaskar, are you there? Please put it into the comment box. Are you getting that shared memory architecture of parallel data, parallel system architecture? Yes, Renuka, Akanksha, Aditya. Please, guys, I need a response from your side. So how I can know that whatever I am teaching with you, all the concept, all the doubts are cleared or not? Yes, yes, Tejaswini and Bhaskar has to be given the reply. Okay, so shall I proceed to the next point? Okay, Ajinkya also given that. Okay, so this is the first type of architecture, that is shared memory. I think all of you are to getting that all the processors are shared the memory. All the processor and disk are shared a memory via, or they are communicate via intercommunication channel, or this is called as a common bus. So all these are connected through LAN. Okay, the disadvantage is what? you can't scale up, means you can't add more processor in this type of architecture because they're having the problem of bandwidth. Okay, so this is a shared memory. I think all of you have to clear that. Okay, then we are going to moving next type of architecture, that is shared memory. Okay, so shared memory, we have seen that, no? Shared memory. Okay, so one slide is remaining on that shared memory. I am explaining that here. So every processor will have large memory cache. Already I am talking about that. See guys, every processor having its own cache memory, So see, we'll have the large memory cache to avoid the referencing to shared memory whenever possible. जेवढं त्याला अवॉइड करता येईल शेअर्ड मेमरीकडे जाण्याचं तेवढं तो अवॉइड करतो. त्याला जो काही फ्रिक्वेंटली लागणारा जो डेटा आहे तो त्याच्या कॅश मेमरी मध्ये ठेवतो. ओके, सो that data is retrieved from that cache memory and execute the task fastly without communicating with the shared memory. All of you are getting this? Every processor having their own cache memory, large cache memory, so they can put that data into whatever the data is required frequently. That data can be storing into that cache memory. So that time same data is required, they can retrieve from that cache without going to the shared memory. If the data is not in the cache, समजा तो data cache मध्ये नाहीये, त्याला जे transaction execute करायचंय, that data is not present in the cache, then shared memory is accessed. त्यावेळेस मग तो कुणाकडे रिक्वेस्ट पाठवेल? शेअर्ड मेमरीकडे. ओके, द कॅश मस्ट बी केप्ट कोहेरंट. बघा, आता सगळ्यात मेन महत्वाचं काय आहे की द कॅश मस्ट बी केप्ट कोहेरंट. इफ आता समजा तुम्ही जो काही एका ट्रान्झॅक्शननी तो डेटा अपडेट केलाय and that data is put it into the cache, but other processor also wants same data and they can do some modification on that data. So the data in the cache memory should be either updated or removed from any processor. See, same data is required by the two processor. The first processor retrieve that data, update that data, and again put it into their cache. Again, processor 2 wants same data. So that time, that data can be writes into the memory. Updated data can be writes into the memory because so other processor also wants that data. So that data is updated. Okay, otherwise cache coherency problem is occurred. So maintaining the cache coherency becoming an increasing overhead with increasing the number of processors. जर तुम्ही प्रोसेसर वाढवले तर पुन्हा ह्या कॅश कोहेरन्सीचा प्रॉब्लेम पण वाढेल. त्यामुळे शेअर्ड मेमरी मध्ये you have to limited 64 processor you can add into that type of the architecture. Every processor having their own cache memory. So whatever the data is required to that processor, they are put it into that cache and execute, retrieve that data from that cache without interacting with the shared memory. And after means executing the transaction, that data has to be updated in the cache also, or that data is updated into the this cache coherency problem, this concurrency control. Okay, the cache coherency become increasing in overhead to increasing that processor into that memory. Okay, so I think Rohan Shinde, you can unmute your mic. Shinde. Rohan Shinde, please unmute your mic. Okay. So that is shared memory. Okay, all of you are getting this? Then we are going to moving to the next type of architecture, that is shared disk. Okay, that is shared disk. Okay. So this type of the architecture, main thing is what? Every processor having their memory. See, every processor have their private memory, and all the processors are access all the disk directly via this common bus or this intercommunication channel. See guys, every processor having their own private memory. See, प्रत्येक processor ला बघा एक memory दाखवली. Every processor having its private memory, and all these processors are access disk. Okay, access all the disk via these intercommunication channel or communication bus. Okay, this is the architecture of shared disk. Disk share करतोय आपण, सगळे प्रोसेसर ही डिस्क शेअर करतील, पण प्रत्येक प्रोसेसरला त्याची स्वतःची प्रायव्हेट मेमरी असणार आहे. Every processor having their own private memory, and all these processors are shared that disk. So what is the advantage point is here? As each processor have its own memory, the memory bus is not a bottleneck. म्हणजे मेमरी शेअर करण्याचा प्रॉब्लेम या ठिकाणी नाहीये. So fault tolerance, one of the fault tolerance is achieved using this shared disk. So first of all, let me see that what is meant by fault tolerance. So it is a process. See at here, if a processor or its memory fail, suppose see in this diagram, suppose the first processor and their memory is failed. Okay, the other processor can take over its task. ह्याचं जे टास्क होतं, समजा हा प्रोसेसर आणि त्याची मेमरी फेल झाली, तर अदर प्रोसेसर कॅन टेक ओव्हर इट्स टास्क, and since the database is reside on the disk that are accessible for, कारण डेटा तर डिस्क मध्ये स्टोर आहे. जर समजा हा प्रोसेसर आणि ही मेमरी फेल झाली, तर ह्याचं जे काम होतं, so that task can be overcome by the other processor, because the database can be reside on the disk, and these are accessible for the all the processor. So this is a fault tolerance. So processor 1 having some fault, or processor 1 and their memory is failed. Okay, so their task is overcome by the other processor, because database is reside on the disk, and these are accessible for the all the processor. So this is the advantages point of shared disk. So all of you are getting this advantage. What is the advantage of shared disk? So all of you are getting this? Yes, Shivani, Saloni Gowde. Chaitanya, are you getting that advantage of shared disk? Suppose what I am saying, every processor having their own memory, right? Suppose processor 1, they are going to perform some task, but processor 1 is failed. Processor 1 ला काहीतरी फॉल्ट आला किंवा काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम आला, तर काय केलं जातं, the other processor can take over its task, because the database has to be reside into this disk, right? So these are accessible to all the processor, so it can take over their task and execute that task, and execution is done. So this is advantages point of what? Shared disk. Means if the processor or its memory is fail, the other processor can complete the task. This is called as a fault tolerance. Okay, so this is the advantage point of shared disk. Okay, then we are going to moving to the disadvantage. Okay, so the first, it is not scalable, but more scalable than shared memory. शेड मेमरी पे ह्यात पण तुम्ही जास्त प्रोसेसर ऍड करू शकत नाही, पण ऍज कम्पेअर टू शेड मेमरी यू कॅन स्केल इट. ओके, shared disk system have limited scalability as large amount of data are travel through the intercommunication channel. कारण डेटा ट्रॅव्हल होणार आहे ह्यातला डिस्क मधला कशा थ्रू, या intercommunication channel through. Again, they are having problem of bandwidth. So interconnection to the disk subsystem is now bottleneck when the database makes the large number of access to disk. So the communication across the processor is slower, and since it has go through the communication network. So more processor, if you have to add it in the existing processor, so obviously the slow down the processes. Okay, so communication across the processor is slower, right, when you adding the more processor. So due to that reason, again, this type of architecture is not scalable, but more scalable than shared memories. shared memory पेक्षा तुम्ही जास्तीत जास्त प्रोसेसर ह्यात ऍड करू शकता, पण एवढे पण जास्त नाही की जेवढे लार्ज नंबर मध्ये तुम्ही प्रोसेसर ऍड केले. अगेन they are having a problem of bottleneck. Memory bus is no longer a bottleneck. Again, the bandwidth problem is there. So you can communicate with the disk via this intercommunication channel. So the communication across the processor is slower when you adding the more processor in this network. Okay, so this is a disadvantage of second type of architecture, that is shared disk. I think it is clear to everyone. So in the shared disk type of architecture, every processor having their own its private memory, and all these processors are shared disk share kartat. Okay, so each processor has its own memory. So due to that reason, if any one of the processor is failed, okay, if any one of the processor and its memory is failed, the other processor can complete the task. So that is called as a fault tolerance. Okay, fault tolerance means if any one of the processor is failed in this type of architecture, any one of the processor or memory is failed, other processor can complete the task, because database is reside into the disk, and these are accessible for all the processor. So the other processor can process that task. So this is the advantage point of shared disk. So what is the disadvantage? Again, this type of architecture is not scalable. Not scalable means you are not adding more processor in this type of the architecture, but it is more scalable than first type of architecture, that is shared memory architecture. Okay, so again they are having the problem of the bandwidth, because all the processor are communicate with the disk via intercommunication network. Again, we are going to use a means by using LAN, these are communicate with each other. Okay, then we are going to moving to the next type of architecture, that is shared nothing. Okay, shared nothing. So each processor in the shared nothing system has its own local memory and has its own local disk. बघा, प्रत्येक प्रोसेसरला स्वतःची मेमरी आहे आणि त्याच्याकडे स्वतःची डिस्क आहे. And they are not going to share anything. Every processor in the shared nothing system has its own memory and local disk. Okay, so each node of the machine consists of the processor, memory, and one more disk. So means what I am saying, each processor in the shared nothing architecture, it has its own memory and it has its own local disk. Okay, the processor at one node may communicate with the other processor at the other node by using intercommunication network. एक प्रोसेसर दुसऱ्या प्रोसेसरशी कम्युनिकेट करणार आहे via interconnection network. Okay, so local disk reference are serviced by the local disk at each processor. Access to non-local disk pass through the network. So local disk reference are serviced by the local disk at each processor. Every processor having its own memory, local memory, and having its own local disk. So they can access that data here and they can execute the task. So what is the what is the advantage point of this type of architecture? So this type of architecture is more scalable. See, above 2 architecture is not scalable because they're having a problem, right? Because what they are sharing a second type of architecture, they are going to share a disk. So multiple times you can using that intercommunication channel. All the data can be moving on this intercommunication channel. So that's why it is not scalable. Okay, and same as like shared memory. By using this disk and processor are shared that memory, and again most of the time they are going to use this intercommunication channel. So again they are having a problem of bandwidth. But in this type of third type of architecture, so every processor having their own memory and having their own disk. Okay, so they're having the less time they are going to use that intercommunication channel at the time of communicating with the other processor. So the advantage point is what? It is more scalable, means number of processor and disk can connected as per the requirement of shared nothing. जे shared nothing ची जेवढी काही requirement आहे तर त्याच्यानुसार तुम्ही large number of processor can be adding in this type of architecture. So means it can be easily scale up. Large number of processor can be added in this type of architecture. Then what is the disadvantage? Cost of the communication and non-local disk access. See, data partition is required. The cost of the communication and local disk is higher in this type of architecture. Cost of communication and local disk access is very high because every processor having its own disk, own processor. So due to that reason, this type of data partition is also required. This is also one of the disadvantage. Another disadvantage is what? The cost of communication for the local disk is higher as compared to other two types of architecture. Okay, so the parallel system, parallel database architecture having three types: shared memory, shared disk, and shared nothing. In the shared memory architecture, all the processor share common memory. एकच memory सगळेजण share करणार. Share disk, all the processors share common disk. Okay, and shared nothing, all the processor are neither shared a memory or nor shared a common disk, because in this type of architecture every processor having its own local memory and having its own local disk. So that's why they are not going to share common memory and common disk. Okay, so these are the three basic architectures in the parallel database system. So all of you are getting this? Yes, all of you are getting this? Renuka, Gayatri, Omkar Pawar, Omkar Kale, Siddhi. I need a response from your side. So all of you are to getting this parallel database architecture. This is one of the most important point in this chapter. Parallel database architecture. Are you getting? Yes, Omkar. Then yes, guys. Yes, Omkar Kale also given a reply. Okay. Yes, other students. Dipti, Saloni, Anisha, Siddhi, Snehal, Tejaswini. So guys, I need a response from your side. So whatever I am teaching with you, so you all that the concepts are clear or not? Okay, Tejaswini. Okay, now we are going to moving another architecture that is hierarchical. So I am put it in the back because this is one of the most common type of architecture nowadays it is used, that is hierarchical. Okay, this model is a hybrid of preceding three architecture. ह्या तिन्हींचं combination आहे. That is nothing but the hierarchical architecture. This model is a combination of above three. This model is a hybrid of preceding three architecture. So that is the hierarchical. Okay. So see at here. Hierarchical architecture. So combine the characteristics of, it is a combination of three, above three: shared memory, shared disk, shared nothing architecture. Okay. So combines the characteristics of shared memory, shared disk, and shared nothing architecture. Okay. So see guys at here, sorry, this top level, see this top level. This top level, this top level, ही वरची जी line है ना, this is a top level. The system consists of nodes that are connected via interconnection network that is shared nothing. Okay, हा इथं बघा, हे इथं ह्या थ्रू आहे, हे जे टॉप आहे. So this is a shared nothing. आता base level, this is a base level. Each node in the system shared a memory. बघा, हे ह्या intercommunication network through सगळेजण memory share करतात. See guys at here, shared memory. So this base level, ही जे आहे ही base level. These are each node of the system shared a memory system with few processor that is shared memory. And the middle level, see at the middle level, each node share the set of disk, that is shared disk. Okay, so means this is a hierarchical architecture. Top level shared nothing. The system consists of nodes that are connected via interconnection network, so that is shared nothing. Base level, so this is a base level. Each node on the system shared the memory. सगळे processor काय share करतात? Memory. And in the middle level, each node can be shared the disk also. So this type of architecture is a hierarchical. It combines characteristics of shared memory, shared disk, and shared nothing architecture. So guys, these are the four types of architectures in the parallel system architecture. Okay, shared nothing, shared memory, shared disk, shared nothing, and the hierarchical. In the hierarchical type of the architecture, it is a combination of about three architecture, that is shared memory, shared disk, and shared nothing architecture. Okay, now we are moving to the next type of the database system architecture, that is distributed system. another is a distributed system. So the data is distributed among different sites. आता parallel मध्ये कसं होतं बघा guys. So in a parallel, all the processors are connected. See, so why this parallel system architecture concept I am going to brief out within a short period of time. I am going to brief out that parallel database. So in the parallel database, use the various data partition technique, improve the performance and throughputs. That's why that parallel system architecture is introduced. Execution speed is high. Okay, located at the same location. बघा सगळ्यात मेन महत्वाचं काय की मी मग एका LAN थ्रू कनेक्ट होते सगळे एव्हरी प्रोसेसर्स आर कनेक्टेड व्हाया LAN. So geographical area is limited. Every processors are connected via LAN in parallel database system architecture. But in case of distributed database system, different sites were connected with each other through network, means through wide area network. Okay, so side A are communicate with the side B via WAN, wide area network. But in case of parallel database, all the processors are connected through LAN. So means geographical area is limited. You can say that that is in one server room, one lab. Okay, you can say that this type of architecture has to be designed in one lab. Okay, so this is a main part of that. Means machines are physically close to each other in case of parallel database. For example, same server room, and all the machines are connected via LAN, and the multiple processor can be handling the data. Database is shared and partitioned into the disk. But in case of distributed database, different sites were connected. See, here I am going to give one example at here. Suppose there is a bank, that is SBI bank. Okay, so in the site A, that is Pandharpur branch, side B, there is a Sangola branch, and side C, there is a Mangalveda branch. Okay, State Bank of India having 3 sites, Pandharpur branch, Sangola branch, and the Mangalveda branch. All these branches are connected with each other through wide area network. Okay, means the database of SBI is distributed among these sites. Okay, but all these sites are connected via WAN and they are communicate with each other. So all of you are getting this? Yes, guys, all of you are getting this? Distributed system. See, in case of parallel database, machines are physically close to each other. म्हणजे एका सिंगल रूम मध्ये सगळे प्रोसेसर एकमेकांशी कनेक्टेड असतील थ्रू LAN. But in case of distributed system, the different sites are connected with each other via wide area network. Okay, so here I am going to say that here the processors are connected through WAN, so speed is obviously slow. But in case of parallel system, machines are physically close to each other, they are connected through LAN, so obviously speed is high in parallel database, and maintained by the single data so distributed system. Here is a different database administrator from the side A, side B having the different database administrator, side C having the different database administrator. So means they're having the multiple database administrator in the distributed database. But in case of parallel system, they're having a single database administrator. There is a single database administrator, and all the nodes are work in the single policy in the parallel database. But in case of distributed, all the sites are working into the different policies. Suppose side A having Oracle, side B having MySQL, side C having the SQL server, right? So they're having the different policies. So in the see guys, here in distributed database, the different sites are connected with each other through wide area network, and database is distributed among these sites. Okay, and the communication can be done into the side A to side B via wide area network. So see at here, distributed system, the database is stored on the several computer. Database is stored on several, distributed among the network. So computer are communicate with one another through various communication media such as high-speed private network or internet, because they are physically diverse in the different parts of the city. Here I am going to give one example, that is SBI Bank having their branches. That is, one is located in the Pandharpur, side A is a Pandharpur branch, side B is a Sangola branch, side C is a Mangalveda branch. So they are diverse in the different part of city, and all these sites are connected through network, right? So the computer can communicate with one another through various communication media, that is obviously by using WAN, so you can require internet. They do not share the main memory or disk. See, in this type of architecture, they do not share main memory or disk. These computers are referred as a site or node. Eka site sa computer म्हणू शकता किंवा they can be considered referred as a node. Difference between shared nothing parallel database, distributed data. We have to say that this is not shared the memory or not shared the disk. So obviously this is a shared nothing architecture in the as like a parallel database, and how that can be work in the distributed database, that difference we are going to see at here. Difference between shared nothing shared nothing architecture in the parallel database and the distributed database. In distributed database, databases are geographically separated and administrated and have the slower interconnection. See, already I am saying that these are side A, side B, and side C are distributed diverse in the different parts of the city, right? One side A located at the Pandharpur, side B is located at the Sangola, side C is located at the Mangalveda. So they are geographically diverse in the different part of the city and separated, and already I am going to talking about that. In case of parallel database system, it is maintained by the single database administrator. But side A having the different database administrator, side B having the different database administrator. So separately administrated and have a slower interconnection. So when you're using a WAN, so that time they're having a slower interconnection. So in the distributed database, we differentiate between local and global transaction. आता local and global transaction कसे execute होतात, so we are going to see one by one. Suppose local म्हणजे suppose एखादा पंढरपूर ब्रांचचा एखादा अकाउंट होल्डर SBI साइड A ला आला, तर त्याचा अकाउंट तिथंच असणार आहे लोकल डिस्क ऑफ साइड A. So that time the local transaction is executed. But if the Mangalveda branch account holder come to the Pandharpur branch, so that time it is a global transaction, right? So in the distributed database, we differentiate. How we can differentiate between local and global transaction? We are going to see one by one at here. So local, what is meant by local transaction? The transaction that access the data from the site where the transaction was initiated. ज्या साइडला ट्रान्झॅक्शन इनिशिएट झालंय त्याच साइडला जर तो डेटा अवेलेबल असेल, so that transaction is a local. See, the transaction that access the data from that site where the transaction was initiated. मगाशी मी सांगितलं की एखादा पंढरपूर ब्रांचच्या SBI मधला अकाउंट होल्डर आहे, त्याचं ट्रान्झॅक्शन तुम्हाला तिथंच परफॉर्म करायचंय, कारण ऑलरेडी त्याचा डेटा त्या पंढरपूर साइड ए ला असणार आहे. सो द ट्रान्झॅक्शन दॅट ऍक्सेस द डेटा, ऑब्विसली त्याच्या तिथंच असणार आहे त्याचा डेटा, that access that data from that site and where the transaction is initialized. इथूनच ट्रान्झॅक्शन इनिशियलाइज झालंय आणि तिथंच तो डेटा तुम्हाला अवेलेबल आहे. So that is called as a local transaction. I think all of you have to clear that. That is called as a local transaction. But what is meant by global transaction? A transaction that access the data from the different side. मगाशी मी सांगितलं की एखाद्या मंगळवेढा ब्रांचचा अकाउंट होल्डर पंढरपूरला आला and they can execute that query, execute that transaction from the Pandharpur side. So that time you can say that this transaction is a global transaction. Okay, a transaction that access the data from the different side where the transaction was not initiated. Transaction is initiated in the Pandharpur branch, but the data is means that account holder data in the Mangalveda SBI branch. So when you executing that transaction, okay, when you executing that transaction, you can access the data of that account holder from the Mangalveda SBI bank. So that time this transaction is called as a global transaction. That time this transaction is called as a global transaction. So I think you all has to be clear that local transaction and the global transaction concept. Okay. Yes, clear? Local transaction means what? A transaction that access the data from the site where the transaction was initiated. Okay, means suppose SBI Bank Pandharpur, in the Pandharpur bank, and that person has to be goes to that bank and they have to deposit some amount in their account. So that transaction has to be initiated in this side and their data is present at there. So that is called as a local transaction. But Mangalveda bank account holder come to the Pandharpur bank, okay, and they have to be deposit some amount. So that time transaction is initiated at the Pandharpur side, but that account holder information has to be, data has to be stored into the Mangalveda branch. So you can access that data from that side and then you have to execute that transaction. So that type of transaction is called as a global transaction. I think you all has to be cleared. In the distributed system, two types of transactions are performed. That is local transaction and the other is a global transaction. Okay. Okay. So fine. Today we are going to stop at here. I think a remaining part we will be covered in the next lecture. But whatever, if you having a problem, please feel free and ask me anytime. I will clear it. Okay. Okay, guys. Please, I need a response from in a chat box. Whatever I am studying in this session, so all that things are cleared or not. Please put it into the comment box. Doubts are all the points are cleared or not. Whatever I am teaching in the today's session, that is parallel system architecture and introduction of distributed system architecture. So all of you have to clear or not. Please, if I need the response from everyone, please put it into the comment box. If you have any doubt, please feel free and ask me anytime. I need a response from your side, guys. I need a response from everyone. Yes, I think 34 participants are there. Yes. I know it's 2 hours lecture, But guys, this is very important points in this chapter. So everyone, means after completion of this session, every student will be able to know what is mean by parallel database system architecture, what is meant by distributed database system architecture, and every student must be able to differentiate. Okay, every student should be able to means differentiate between parallel system architecture and distributed system architecture. This is the main goal of when you teaching that. So every student must know difference between parallel system architecture and distributed system architecture. Also, we have to compare the two database based on the various factors. Okay, at the end of after completion of distributed system, I am given one example, and then you have to say that that particular problem has to be fit on which type of architecture, parallel system architecture, or whether it can be fit into the distributed system architecture. So, but before you have to able to know that, first we have to clear the idea about parallel system architecture and distributed system architecture. Right, guys? Okay. So, thank you so much. 1 minute. Here I am going to conduct attendance. Okay. 1 minute, guys. I think we are going to start it from division A. Today, today is 20 of October. Okay. So, roll number 2 from division A. Roll number 2. I need response from your side. Please unmute your mic. Shivan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Pratika.
Yes, ma'am.
Ahilya. Yes, Ahilya, are you there? Otherwise, I make it absent.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
I am there.
Okay. Manashri.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Vivita.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Where is Vivita? Vivita is roll number 12. Saloni.
Yes, ma'am.
Pallavi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sonia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Akanksha.
Yes, ma'am.
Aparna.
Yes, ma'am. Present.
Okay, fine. Then Dipti.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Anisha 34. Okay. Siddhi.
Yes, ma'am.
Geeta. Geeta, are you there? Okay, fine. Then Prashant. Prashant.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then Pranesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then if anyone is remaining from division A.
Ma'am, roll number 11.
Roll number 11. Okay, fine. Then moving to the division B. Tejaswini Patil.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Omkar Kale.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Digvijay. Yes, Digvijay.
Present,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Digvijay, your number is 49. Okay. Ajinkya.